Welcome to We the People, a new birth of freedom. Once again, thanks for stopping by. I trust that these videos and this content is providing enlightenment, that you might understand what it means to truly experience in its actuality life, liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness. Because you see, the Obamas and Clintons of the world, they are, well, they're anti-American. They love to hide behind the flag. They love to use certain language that makes them appear American, but they're really wolves in sheep's clothing because they're globalist. Their deep down resources come from socialism. They want to see America lose its sovereign independence. They want to see we the people, you the people, lose your sovereign individualism and be sucked into globalism and an international socialism where, they'll throw you a few crumbs to make you think you have some liberty, but it's greatly diminished to the point that it's just a facade. It's really not true freedom and liberty as our founding fathers envisioned. That's why the Declaration of Independence was written the way it was. You see, our founding fathers, they witnessed firsthand oppression, political oppression, religious oppression. They witnessed firsthand what political abuse can do, and usurpations, and tyranny, and treason. They were eyewitnesses and personally experienced that propaganda as well as the oppressive burden of living under that type of despotism. That's why Thomas Jefferson penned those most honorable and notable words of vision and integrity and truth in the Declaration of Independence. That's why the American War of Independence lasted nearly 10 years or more, because America wanted to be established as a sovereign, independent nation. That is the only way that true liberty and true justice and true pursuits of happiness can exist. You see, we're either free or we're not. And our founding fathers established that true liberty is not negotiable. True liberty is not politically defined. True liberty is an individual sovereignty. Now listen, carrying a tremendous amount of accountability and responsibility. But as I stated, the Clintons and the Obamas of this world, they love socialism. They want the government or an international union to be able to control the production, the exchange, and the distribution of everything that we hold dear as free individuals. They want you to be stripped of your personal identity. That's why Obama stated that he's on a mission. His goal is to clone 1 million Obamas. You see, these type of people despise, they hate, they war against individualism because you can't control that type of individual politically. Sometimes, many times throughout history, you have to be an outlaw to be free. Our forefathers, our American forefathers, men and women, became fugitives, outlaws, rebellious to the rule of law that the King of Britain had engraved in his legacy. Let me put it that way. And so they walked away from that. They left that oppressive political environment. And to the king, if you read history, you will see that our American forefathers became outlaws. Because sometimes you have to be an outlaw to be free. And that's why they eventually had to go to war. And this nation was established by outlaws. According to the politics of the King of Britain, our founding fathers were fugitives. They were outcasts. They were criminals. But they had to become outlaws to establish true liberty. And it's getting very close to that place here in the United States of America. Had it not been for President Trump, and I can't say I agree with everything that he says and does, but I agree with this. He's for America. He's for we the people. He's for the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. He's made that very clear, and he's kept his promises that he spoke about on the campaign trail. And that's why many socialists, many anti-Americans despise him. That's why they've warred against him so much, because they don't want you to have true freedom. They don't want you to have true liberty. They don't want you to carry a gun, because in doing so, you might rise up against them and defend your freedom. They don't like that. Like I said, they'll throw you a few crumbs and give you flowery speeches and put on a beautiful smile just to lure you in to their poisonous web of lies and deceit and tyranny and treason. I mentioned on a prior video that our government can't even get our age right. They don't calculate from conception to your actual birthday when you were birthed in the hospital. They start calculating when you have your first anniversary of your birthday. They call the lifespan from the time you were born until your first birthday. They call that your first year. Well, it is your first year, but there's 9 months also included in that. Because conception, once the sperm and the egg germinated, conception begins. Life begins. And the process of that 9-month time frame is brought into its first stage of development. Once you are born, once you come forth from your mother's womb, the development continues. It's just now you're outside the womb, where before we were in the womb, but development still continues. From infant stage, toddler stage, up into our teenage years, into our adulthood, it's all a continual process of human development. And I want to mention something else just quickly on this video. And these things we will get into in much more depth later on. But another thing our government can't get right, and they want us to trust them with our life and liberty? I don't think so. Another thing they can't get right is race. They have reduced and diminished race to a crayon ideology. A crayon ideology. Think about that. They say that you're black, or white, or red, or yellow, or brown. My friend, those are crayons in a crayon box. And the real problem is, if you're going to go by that, when I was a kid and I was going to color a white person, I didn't choose the white crayon, I chose a peach crayon. I certainly didn't choose a white crayon, I chose peach. And I'm sure most of you did the same. But see, our government likes to be generic. They don't want specifics, because the more generic they can be and the more propaganda or generic propaganda that they can spew out of their mouth, they hope that it will help you become less intelligent and less perceptive and less focused on detail. They don't want you to look at details. They love things that are generic. So here's what we have. We have white people, we have black people, we have brown people, red people, yellow people. You didn't realize you came out of a crayon box. And that's all political. It's all political pig shit. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to be using that word quite a bit because that's what, in many cases, that's what the United States government has been reduced to, just a pile of pig shit. Self-serving, greedy, vicious pigs who wallow around in their pig shit. But we're not white, black, brown, yellow, or red. I'm not. Look at me on this video. Do I look white? Look at yourself. Are you black? Are you brown? No. We are all people of color. People of color with specific and unique genealogical histories. Many times on an application, I've put Scottish Native American because as far as I understand, that is my genealogy. My ancestors came from Scotland, and I've been told, I've never actually validated this, but I've been told by family members that I've got some Native American in my family tree. So I'm not a white person. I am a man of color. And you know, you get me out in the sun for a while and I get very dark. But I am a person of color. I am not some generic white man out of a crayon box. I have a history. I have a genealogy. I have a family tree that's not made up of white crayons. They're people. Unique people. And that have value, that have likes and dislikes, that are actually living human beings and not some dead crayon in a crayon box. They have desires, they have emotions, they have feelings, they have goals, they have dreams, they have visions. They're actually human beings. They're not white people. And so I resent that. And I will no longer check any box on an application that says white or Caucasian. I will write in what I am from what I understand. So, until next time, learn how to be a true American. Take care.